TS Galaxy lead by 2-0 against Mamelodi Sundowns in that game. And surprisingly, Mamelodi Sundowns are down by 2-0. But that's not something I want to talk on right now, because they'll say, those people earn money in dollars. I beg, leave that one. But you go carry Ludo Gores to beat Real Madrid. You define upset for your ticket. Yogadin against Falkenberg. That game is 18 minutes on the clock in the Svenska Cupen. It is goalless right now. And Oster against Orebro. Yes, Oster already lead by 1-0. Yes, right there. Potom TIFC against Nakon Rakishima. Yes, Rikashima. It is 2-0 Port. They lead in that game. And action is back in Ukraine. Metalis against Krivbas. It is goalless after 45 minutes in that fixture. Okay, so much for the games coming in. And yes, we would let you know in the afternoon kickoff. There's so much more to talk about. Ashdod still has VAR checking out that goal to see if it will stand or not. Eve's a leader, 2-1 against AC Ulu. And SJK against VUPS. VPS, of course, won that game by 6-0. There's action right there. In the Czech Republic, Radek Kralov against Zlin. It is goalless. Jablonec against Kavina is also goalless. And I can tell you that Slovako against Pardubice, that game is goalless at the moment. Okay, yes, results from all the centers. And yes, results are coming in at this point in time. 61 minutes on the clock. Real Sociedad 0, Real Oviedo 2. By this scoreline alone, if it ends this way, or Oviedo they manage to squeeze a win, they will go to 19 points and they will move above Levante in the standings, as they are still hoping to battle themselves out of that place where they've been virtually all season. And yes, we'll see how that goes. Po have once again taken the lead against Etoile. It is 3-2. Yes, Po have just scored another goal in that game to extend, to once again take the lead, because they were leading by 2 goals, surrendered all 2 goals, and now, yes, they have taken the lead once again in this particular fixture. Yes, the action continues right here on your Champions Style Sports Radio, Brilliant FM, SC Ashdod. It's a lengthy VAR check right there in the game against Maccabi Tel Aviv. 3-1, but Ashdod have pulled the goal back, and they are hoping that after the VAR checks, the goal will stand. Let's wait and see what the outcome of that particular one would be. Mikel Arteta says Arsenal are exactly where they want to be in every competition, despite the criticism after a disappointing Premier League draw against bottom club Wolverhampton Wanderers. The league leaders considered a stoppage time equaliser at Molineux on Wednesday to open the door for rivals Manchester City in the title race. Arsenal are still in control of their own destiny as they chase their first title since 2004 with a 5-point gap over Pep Guardiola's side. If Arsenal win all their games from now to the end of the season, they will be crowned champions. But the same can be said of Manchester City, who host Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium sometime in April. Arteta's side have finished second in the league in 3 successive seasons, and the result in midweek has led to some, of course, suggestions that they are bottling the current title bid, giving Arsenal are currently top of the league. And of course, in the Carabao Cup final, in the FA Cup 5th round, and progressed with 100% record in the Champions League. Arteta was asked if his side, he was asked if those outside the club need some perspective. Are Arsenal truly where they want to be? Joseph?
Well, I think it's obvious they are not where they want to be. I think Arsenal want to have a healthy lead, a very healthy lead at this point in time. And I think they probably could have, because when you're above a Manchester City and it's still tight, especially a Manchester City that has been out of sorts all season, and you're still finding it difficult. I think it is normal that people try to doubt your title credentials. And I mean, even till now, people still doubt. Okay, will Manchester City still be able to do it? I mean, it's up until recently people started to say, okay, Man City are actually in the title race. But for the better part of the season so far, I don't think anybody would have said this City. They're not they contend for anything, and you probably even expect Aston Villa to give up a better fight. But if you're this close to that same Manchester City. Potentially, Manchester City winning the Newcastle United game. It means they close the gap by 2 points, so it's down to 2 points.
Yeah.
So if you're just 2 points above the Manchester City and 2 points better than the Manchester City that people don't expect to, even do anything this season, apart from probably the cup competitions and whatnot, I think it's it's not the kind of situation where you want to find yourself. And it's not as if Arsenal had not done the hard work of, it's not as if they had not done the hard work of, winning games when the season started. I think they started properly, and I felt, okay, this is the kind of, mentality, the kind of environment where you need to, start the season and then probably go ahead to win the league if you actually want to do it. But given the last few results, I think this is the worst possible place they want to be for a title contending team. Yes, they could probably you look at the likes of maybe Aston Villa and you feel like, okay, they are probably overachieving going by the level of investments they've made, the quality of what they have compared to the Arsenals and even Manchester Cities and whatnot. But for a team, one time, second time, third time, for like Arsenal, I think it's a really dreaded position, and no, I don't think they're enjoying the pressure now. They have, been the architects of their own. I wouldn't call it failure, but I mean of their downfall so far. They should be well ahead of Manchester City. I never thought it would be this close. I felt Arsenal were pretty much stable.
But it's usually hard for any team to win it in February.
Yeah, that is true. But when there's so much expectation on the Arsenal, especially with the way they started the season, healthy goals difference. They were not conceding goals. They were watertight at the back.
It wasn't going to last forever, was it?
Yes, that's also true. That is also true. But sometimes you also need to make most of the momentum you have. At least build it for, Liverpool enjoyed that last season. They enjoyed it. They had that lead, before anybody could wake up to say, okay, maybe we are trying to fight for a Premier League trophy or what. In fact, people felt, okay, they are just trying to, they will soon drop. But the moment they had it, even when they started to fall, it didn't seem as if, anything. But that was that was the reason why it seemed as if they didn't have plenty goals. Plenty points tally. I think they headed 80-something, just about, 83, 84, when they had won the league. So I think that's, what probably Arsenal could have done better. Extend that lead as much as possible. And then when you have, that, all those moments where you have the patches that are not good, you have a safe landing. At least you've built something for yourself. The foundation is strong and, really long enough for you to look back and say, all right, even if you are going to take that medal.
Could the fact that Liverpool at some point, especially at the turn of the year, largely had only the Premier League and the Champions League to play and not the League Cup and not also, of course, featuring in other competition, did it play a part in how the season turned out for them?
No, incidentally,
they got to the League Cup final, no doubt about that, lost to Newcastle United. But again, the FA Cup left at some point, and then they had to face only Champions League and the points gap they had built in the league.
Yes, and incidentally, it was when they dropped out of the Champions League, their season started to go bad.
Yeah.
So it means, what it meant at that point in time was because they had a really almost an unassailable lead in the first, part of the season. That was the reason why they had that edge. They could go, take their feet off the pedal and still have that edge until they were just able to manageably, able to do what they did. And I think for an Arsenal side, where maybe what Arteta has been able to do that has not, gone down well with, the team would be clear separation of the two teams he has. You could tell, okay, the first team, the second team, they will always compete. But once you know that, okay, now this set of people now go play cup competitions, it becomes like, say, the level between the first and the second, you feel tell the difference.
Yeah.
Maybe that's, when one is tired, when the other one is trying to, get back on, the quality is not always the same. Maybe you had been able to mix everybody together to start with and, put that competitiveness in that team. Maybe it will be better, and, all of this tiredness or, in terms of the mentality would not, be there, because everybody will be at the same wavelength. But the moment where you know that Eberechi is starting for Premier League, he's not starting in the Champions League, he's not starting in the Europa League, or the other competitions, you could tell. But I think what did not work for Liverpool last season should be working for Arsenal now, because they have a bigger squad and in fact more quality. First team, second quality team quality there. But the moment where you talk, say, no God, you're going to go play Premier League so much, so now this place will go relegate you to put. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons. But to be honest, I think Arsenal are the ones who have put themselves in this problem. All the matches whether they drop games, where they no fit to win. Some years, win syndrome. You go lead game until 70 minutes, 80 minutes. You go, just collapse. I think all of these small games are the ones that are responsible for this point where they are. And I know that for sure he obviously wants to. And Arteta wants to be somewhere far away down from what they are.
He might have that as his expectation. But what if he's also said this? I mean, I'm trying to look at all the points, all the cards on the table now. What if he's also said it on the basis that they are not good chasers? They would rather be in a position where others are chasing them rather than be the ones chasing others.
Well, the only difference that I see is less pressure.
When you are chasing,
yes,
less pressure, no doubt. Pressure. Yeah,
Manchester City have been in this position plenty times. They've won the league from this position also. I mean, multiple times where Liverpool would be the ones to start, putting the pressure on themselves. We have to win this. You have to win this. We have to win this. And sometimes when the information is too much for you to digest at the same time, and you're going through all of the emotions at once, you're scared of what could happen if you don't win this. You tend to probably make some of those mistakes, and it happens like that. Somewhere behind, someone is waiting for you to make those mistakes, and then they just take it up, and then by the time you have done the hard work of trying to not make those mistakes, you have gone far. Maybe 3 games to the end of the season, you've done so much that you feel, all right, let's just keep fighting, let's keep fighting. And then when you probably have that deep, that small gap, those guys are leveling up with you, and then they just take it. You just have 1 or 2 games to the end of the season and they make it. I think that's how it has been. And for us now, they've not been in that position where they chase so much. In fact, more times, I mean, we are talking about Arsenal winning the Premier League for during December, and then we say, okay, by January that's where they drop. So it's more like we are more used to leading and having that pressure of, okay, that's why they'll tell you the elephant is.
Let's look at situations where teams have won the league and there are players who you want to put in the bracket of superstar players who step up and then carry the team by the scruff of the neck. That appears to be lacking in this Arsenal side. In some games where a star player steps up and he bails them out in situations like this, we saw it with Salah a lot of times last season. And in situations where he didn't bail them out, they just found a way to grind the results one way or the other. Darwin Núñez comes off the bench and then the crosses, spamming those crosses in, is either Salah or Trent Alexander-Arnold who put in an assist. And then, especially that game away against Nottingham Forest where they won that late goal.
Yeah.
It was a propeller for some parts of their season. Salah also being the main man who steps up. For City, one particular season, the season they did the treble especially, it was Gundo who was the main man, who stepped up in ways that you didn't expect. De Bruyne also had to step up. Haaland was scoring goals. This is not something you have with the Arsenal side in certain situations where you expect people to step up and get the job done.
Well, I would say unfortunately don't have that class of player, the superstars. I mean their biggest competitor again has to be Manchester City. Haaland is always going to score. Yeah, maybe past few games has not exactly been good for him, but that is where you see that the quality. It's 2023. Arsenal had everybody scoring. Saka was scoring, Martinelli was scoring, Trossard was scoring. Everybody basically was scoring. Havertz was scoring, and but when it got to where it mattered the most, that was the moments where people started saying, like, there's no how you want to navigate it. You need a striker. You need somebody who would always show up. That's little that extra edge. Gabriel Jesus was always injured as well. Even when Gabriel Jesus was getting injured, I think he had double digits as well that season. So I think that is what they probably don't have now. Well, now that they have a striker, who knows? Gyökeres could still go ahead, the clutch moments of the season and do what he should do. But when they need a fusion of everybody together, Saka is, less threatening. Trossard will only do a part, but I'm not sure you are particularly looking at any of them and say, okay, they will do double digits this season. And I think that's where they are probably lacking. This is not to say every title winning squad should have that, that you can win. I mean, Guardiola basically won without Aguero for the better part of the season. But again, we've also seen that it is a trend that you need somebody to bail you out of those situations. Clutch players. Saka is not, he doesn't deliver as much as that. Gyökeres is the guy who you think, I mean, for how much is what he came in with and the kind of hype and, he came in highly recommended. You'd expect that he's the guy to do all of this.
His numbers were great coming into Arsenal.
So I would not blame Arteta for that, but it is what it is. Sometimes you cannot give what you don't have. Arteta has basically tinkered the team enough to say, okay, this is what you need to do. Maybe there are some, they are rough around the edges, but the truth is, you don't have it. If Gyökeres is not doing what he's supposed to do, I'm not sure anybody can, basically, maybe something. Havertz at one point last season was the man, but again, he's injured now. In fact, he's spending more time in the hospital than even on the training ground. So I think it's a case of, it is unfortunate, but these are the things he has to contend with. So for me, I would not blame him, but I mean, they just don't have that man. And maybe they'll go ahead to the market next season. I don't know what will happen at the end of the season, but you probably need some of those players, that profile, to get you over the line.
Are they where they want to be? Yes, the big question on the show. Yes, Arsenal, are they where they want to be? Sociedad pulled one back in the game against Real Oviedo, by the way. Yes, they've scored a goal in that game. Alliance have also pulled one back in the game. And some games have wrapped up, but in the Bundesliga, yes, Bayern Munich against Eintracht Frankfurt has kicked off. Cologne against Hoffenheim has also kicked off. Union Berlin against Bayer Leverkusen. The game is currently on, and Wolfsburg against Augsburg. All games around 5 minutes or thereabouts as far as action in the Bundesliga is concerned. Let's get right into it. 090-41,089, 090-44,089. Arsenal, are they where they need to be? Arteta says, well, we are right where we want to be. And yes, it's exactly what the talk is about at this point in time. Maybe, like Joseph has said, they would have liked, especially still having to do with pressure of being at the top of the table, it would have made a lot of sense for them to have, the points cushion that will not make them be looking over their shoulders and be worried about who's breathing down their necks. But that is not the case right now. I mean, you still have to go through the fire to say, okay, you know what? We had to weather everything. We had to weather to be where we want to be. You think that's the case for Arsenal? Let's hear from you on the show right here. 090-41,089, 090-44,889. Alanya have made it 2-2 in the game against Başakşehir. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Welcome. Mm-hmm.
God bless you for this analysis you bring us here and there. See, Arteta, I will tell you, for this season, the problem of Arteta is that he wants to win everything. He just wants to win everything. He don't even want to prioritize on. Number one, if you want you can see sometimes that Guardiola, if you bench somebody like Defoe, he didn't even care. If you bench somebody like Mahrez, he didn't even care. Sometimes they still have to go down on the bench. But Arteta, you know, if you don't play that you go use for Premier League, you don't even know players to use for Champions League, you don't even know players to use for other people and Cyber Cup. The truth is that after they are very good, they have their TV. Evidence is true. The Arsenal second team can go on and win every cup. And they can still go on and win the Carling Cup. They are second team. But Arteta, he will give experienced players and not even know what he wants to do. That is the problem now. And now you can see they started well, very slow here when the team started. They did not concede. Very, very hard for Arsenal to see. Everyone should not see Arsenal 50. Arsenal Arsenal were beating everybody, but all of a sudden, you can see now they are conceding. They are calling Arsenal 2 goals, which is very, very hard when you see it started. People call them a single goal in the match is very, very hard. That is bad news. The other one is that, let me tell you, Arsenal, they don't even have a big player. Every player are just like this. They don't pay any star man in their score. For how many seasons now? When Eden Hazard was in Chelsea, you can see what he was able to do. On a first footage, when we say nothing, everything seems impossible. You can see Eden Hazard is become for the Chelsea rescue. You can see him dancing. You can see people to go by putting them. Now we have the light of power. Now they are our own social player now, as we see in that. Can you mention that player and they are best player? For me, as long as I'm a Facebook man and as a WhatsApp number, let me tell you, the guy of Saka, every season is just like something. Nothing is so different. Every season, last season, and this is no different. Last season and this last season, no different. You cannot say the guy of Saka will go on and score 2 goals in the Premier League. That goal is even very, very difficult. That is very, very one thing that is making us from winning the league. It's not that they don't have a good player. They have 20 players. But I thought I didn't know how to do the first in all these players. They don't approach any game. They can play. When they play the last game, and they are not good. But that is very, very bad. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for your contribution. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Yes,
Lodi
welcome.
and Joseph.
VQ and Joseph, actually.
Oh, sorry.
Welcome.
Listen, I want to contribute a little bit.
Tell us your name, please.
My name is Chris from
Chris, you're welcome.
Yeah. I want to talk about, can I talk about this Arsenal stuff?
Yes, why not? It's what we're talking about at this time.
Okay. Yeah, in every team, there are those who are captain, apart from the just normal captain, who are captain in the pitch and who are commanders in the pitch. If I would like to say, Arsenal don't have those kind of players. Truly speaking, the people that command that respect, people that have that is that mentally strong, that can push team beyond limits in the pitch. And when you don't have those kind of players, truly speaking, it will be difficult for you to win the league, Champions League. You might try. You can try to get on certain level. People will say, he's second, he's third. But even as a coach, you have to be mentally strong. Watch people like Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Ancelotti, and all the rest of them that win those things. You don't just win it because it's not easy to win. Even in our secular life, if you want to succeed in some certain things, there are ways that have to push you, have to go through, you have to stand strong mentally. You try, they win trophy. Even in our secular life. So Arsenal don't have those kind of players. They just have average play. Almost everybody is average players. They are exceptional players in their midfield. Yes, they have some good players, but are they exceptional? No. If you watch those days of Man City, someone like De Bruyne, you have the Silva in that midfield. They have someone like Aguero. Those guys command respect because of what they have done. I don't know who is people that scout for us now. They need quality, exceptional players. Maybe is it that this guy Arteta doesn't have that quality to control them or to bring them in to help him out. Even sometimes someone like De Bruyne and Guardiola fall out, he will still play him in the next game because somehow they would have settled it and they know what it's going to bring to the game. So for me, Arsenal don't have those qualities, and it's going to be difficult for them to win those things. They may win, even if they win, it's not going to be called a fluke, but it's not going to be said they are exceptional. They don't have those kind of quality of player that command respect, that can say, come guy, what's your problem? Let's do it, we can do it. and they do it convincingly for the even people to see. So that is just my contribution. I hope they win this league. If they don't win it this time, it's going to take time again for them to get there. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for your contribution on the show. Still your champions now, Sports Radio Roland FM. Of course, let's let you know that Sociedad 1, Oviedo 2, and Federico Viñas has been substituted. Yes, Federico Viñas has been substituted in the game. The man who scored twice for Real Oviedo in this game. That's my club, Real Oviedo. You don't understand? Let's go. Yes, let's take some comments on WhatsApp. This one says, I am Chukwani Divine, listening from Awada Obosi. On the topic of a discussion as it concerns the Crystal Palace, I personally blame the board for their current woes. They sold a couple of their best legs like Olise, Eze, Gehi, without any reasonable replacement for them. And they are expecting Oliver Glasner to perform some magic. To be honest, they are not being fair to him at all. Here's a man who brought some laurels to Crystal Palace in the space of 1 year or thereabouts, and after years of a trophy drought. And the only way to show some appreciation is by allowing the fans keep mounting pressure upon pressure on him. I am glad that he's told them that he will leave come the end of the season, but I bet you, President, Palace will not get a manager as good as Glasner for so many years to come. Thanks. Thank you too. Let's take this one here. It says, good afternoon, VQ, my manchi. Yes, it says, I just did one corner. They enjoy the whole of your analysis, my brother. Yeah, it's been a while. I lost my dad, and I've traveled for his burial. And play. Oh, I'm so sorry. My thoughts and prayers are with you. How are you feeling? He said, yes, I did enjoy the gang. No, enjoy that one. No, enjoy that one. Take it easy, my brother. It is well with you. If it is down to contribution and begging, we could have done that. Please, how can we beg Pep to let my people go this year? I believe before the match between Arsenal and City would have won the league. Chelsea will stop Arsenal. Delight Chisom from Apapa. Yes, this one is from you on the show today. Hey guys, please stop calling this line. You stand the risk of getting blocked if you call this line. Please, for your own good, stop trying to call this line. It is for messages only WhatsApp messages only. Okay, stop trying to call the line. That's not the line for you to call. Red Oviedo have made it 2-2. Yes, in the game against Sociedad, it is 2-2. And first goal was from Ori Oscarson, and now yes, they have a second. It is 2-2 in that game. Malawi women did against Lesotho women by 8-0 in the COSAFA Cup right there. Como, of course, they lead against Juventus. It's almost a halftime in that game. Let's let you know that FC Cologne lead 1-0 against Hoffenheim in the Bundesliga. Bayer Leverkusen, they are in action. They are on the road against Union Berlin. It is still goalless. Wolfsburg against Augsburg is goalless. And I can tell you that Bayern Munich against Eintracht Frankfurt, no goals recorded yet in that particular game. Odense still lead 2-1 against FC Copenhagen. It is 87 minutes in that game as we speak. Yes, Lokomotiv Plovdiv against Spartak Varna. It is 1-1 in that game. 86 minutes on the clock. It's almost halftime. Istran 1961 trail 1-0 against Gorica. I did promise I was going to bring you results from the championship. Yes, those games have come and gone. But in League One, yes, Plymouth won by 5-2. Rodan lost 2-1. Wycombe won by 3-1. Eyüpspor earlier defeated Genk Çebiligi by 1-0. And of course, if we go to the championship proper, in the games that have taken place early in the championship today, I can tell you that QPR, yes, defeated Hull City away from home, 3-1. Stoke City against Leicester ended 2-2. Swansea City won against Bristol City by 1-0. And West Bromwich Albion lost to Coventry by 2-0. Barrow led by 2-0, but later fell to Fleetwood Town, who came from 2 goals down to win that game 3-2. Swindon Town were able to pull the goal back, but it was not enough. as Crew Alexandra ran away with the result on the day. 2-1. It ended, of course, in League 2 right there in England. So, yes, let's let you know that Bayern Munich have now taken the lead in the game against Eintracht Frankfurt. Yes, Bayern have taken the lead. It is Alexander Pavlovic who has put Bayern ahead in this game. Yes, Pavlovic has put them right in front. As far as this fixture is concerned, it is 1-0. Troyes have come back from a goal down. They lead by 4-3 against Pau. Yes, in Ligue 2. And it is halftime in the game between Juventus and yes, Juventus. It is halftime in the game against Como right there. Yes, 1-0. Como lead in that game. Okay, 4 minutes have been added actually. 4 minutes have been added, and yes, it is almost getting to halftime in that fixture. Let's go to Israel. Yes, and let you know that Maccabi Tel Aviv still lead by 3-2. Yes, 3-2 is the scoreline right there. And yes, in Malta, Birkir Kara have had a man sent off. They threw 3-0 against Zabar. Less, of course, 91 minutes. Bodoknios against in Montenegro. The lead against Usteka, 2-1. Jedimsto against Jedinstvo against Decic. It is 1-0 Jetic, the away side lead in this game. And yes, that I can tell you certainly. Rakov lead 1-0 against Tamarika BB. Yes, Rakov lead 1-0 in that game. Radnik, yes, Radnik lead against Nepradak by 2-1. Nepradak had 2 men sent off, and they surrendered the lead in that game because they were leading for most parts of that game 1-0 until they had 2 guys sent off in that game. Don Strider lead 3-0 against Kalika, and Presov trailed against Komano by 1-0. Trenching against Mialovka. It is goalless after 20 minutes. And I can tell you that, yes, Olympic Ljubljana against Kopa lead by 1-0. That game has just gone half-time. It is 90 minutes. TS Galaxy lead against Mamelodi Sundowns 2-0. Leganes against Cultural Leonesa. It is 1-1 in that game. 90 minutes right now on the clock. And let's go to, of course, Sweden, where it is halftime. Jörgen against Falkenberg. It is goalless in that game. And Osterli 2-0 against Orebro in another fixture right there. Okay, yes, so much for the games taking place across all the centers. And yes, we're still taking your thoughts, of course, before we take you to join up with our international partners on Football Live, where we have more coming your way as the games are also fast approaching. Let's take you to the lineups, of course, teams that are featuring this afternoon. Aston Villa will host Leeds United. It is Brentford against Brighton, Chelsea against Burnley, West Ham against Bournemouth much later, and Manchester City will welcome Newcastle United in another fixture. Yes, let's take you to the game, because as far as the Premier League is concerned, the weekend starts right here. Let's let you know that Brentford manager Keith Andrews makes 2 changes to the side that started a 1-1 draw against Arsenal 9 days ago. Yes, Aaron Hickey and Jordan Henderson, they come into this game, and Yeho Yamolik drops to the bench, while Michael Kayode misses out altogether. Yes, he misses out altogether in this particular game. So yes, for the side, it is the man they have in goal. Talking about the goalkeeper for this team. Yes, Kelleher is in goal. It's a back four of Hickey, Ayer, Vandenberg, as well as Rico Henry. Yes, at the left back, Janelt and Henderson are the 2 in front of the back four. It is Ouattara, Jensen, and Luis Porta. They play right behind Igor Thiago, who leads the attack for Keith Andrews' Bees in this fixture. They take on under pressure. Yes, Hosela, who of course is leading Brighton and Hove Albion in this game. Verbroken is the man in goal, and yes, it's a back four of Viper, Van Heck, Donk, and Kadioglu. Yes, it is a midfield 3 of James Milner, Hinshelwood, as well as Pascal Gross. And let's let you know that Gomez, Welbeck, and Mitoma are the 3 guys leading the attack in this particular game. We go on elsewhere, of course, Aston Villa. They're at home to Leeds United. Unai Emery makes 7 changes to the Villa side that exited the FA Cup with a 3-1 loss at home to Newcastle United a week ago. Emiliano Martinez is always going to return to goal, but Marco Bizos, the Marco Bizos red card in that game means that Villa have a 21-year-old James Wright yet to play a minute competitively for the club, as their backup goalkeeper. Tammy Abraham's first goal for Aston Villa since his £18.2 million move from Besiktas was not enough to keep him in the starting lineup, as Oli Watkins, of course, starts up front in this game. We'll let you know that it is Martinez in goal. It is Marty Cash who makes a return, shaking off a calf injury alongside Ezri Konsa. Yes, a time